Hi, this is Diana.
I'm Tramel.
And thank you for tuning in. Today we are continuing to talk about dating. That is the topic that we talked about in our last video. We were actually speaking about red flags that we personally saw while we were dating.
No, you saw.
Oh, well, yeah, that I saw. I know you probably had a couple of them that you saw from me as well. But just to qualify, when we're talking about dating, we're not talking about just like dating a bunch of people. We're talking about people who are more specifically like exclusively dating and dating with the purpose of finding out if you want to get married to each other.
Yeah, man. And that's important, especially because you're embarking on something that's supposed to be for a lifetime. You're gonna be in this for the long haul, man. To death do you part. And so what we discover, and people know this, man. You should not rush into marriage, period, because it is a lifelong thing. And so recently we were looking at an article from an organization called Focus on the Family, and that's exactly what they were talking about on one of on their page, is that hey, a lot of people who hop into marriage very quickly, they don't get to experience the other person in certain seasons of life. And that's important, right? Because they had a list of things that you can actually look for and pay attention to while you're dating. And for example, they had here, what is this person like when they're stuck in traffic? And so we could talk about our experience, man. Do you remember how I was, or when we were dating?
Stuck in traffic?
When I was stuck in traffic, it says traffic when they're late for an appointment.
Oh man. No, I mean, you really were a pretty punctual person, so I didn't really see you. Oh man, I do remember a time when I made you late.
Oh!
I do remember you getting a little bit frustrated.
Here you go.
Because I'm still working on my punctuality. And so I kind of threw off the schedule a little bit. So I saw your mood change.
Yes, man.
Because I guess I wasn't respecting the time that you wanted to get to a particular place. But it was nothing major. Stuck in the drive-through line, I think, was more the thing for you. You were a little bit upset about the drive-through. Waiting in the drive-through line. But yeah, traffic wasn't really a big deal.
I want to speak on that because on our last video we talked about how a healthy relationship can keep you accountable, right? Diana spoke about how from the outside, looking in, when she saw how I communicated with my mom, at first it was a little, I don't know, unsettling for her, or because she it kind of seemed like I was coming off in a disrespectful way to my mom, and though for the most part, I think we found that it was just the way that my mom and I communicate, but some of it was me being disrespectful, and what it did was it helped me to examine myself and make sure that I'm being even more respectful to my mom. Well, drive-through lines, I remember her saying, hey, you're a little rude to the people, and I think it was because they were like taking a long time, or they did something.
Yeah.
I think they were doing something, man.
No, I just wanted to make sure we didn't have any extra special sauce in our burger when we got it back.
Yeah.
Be nice. Be nice.
Yes,
we can talk about it afterward.
Yes, that was good. But I remember that, and I remember her holding me accountable to that in a natural, organic way, because as time went on, we would go through the drive-through line and I would be waiting a long time, and then I would remember, I need to watch my attitude, I need to be kind to these people. You don't know what they're going through inside, those type of things. But these are the signs of a healthy relationship, and but as far as you in traffic, I thought about I don't remember you, I can't remember any specific time when we were late, or you were late to an appointment, how you acted. But do you remember me getting on you about how? Listen, it seemed like when because our relationship was kind of long distance. We were like 3 hours apart from one another. But when I would drive and she would be following me somewhere, it seemed like she'd be driving like a no disrespect, but like a 70, 80-year-old woman, man. Like, where's she at, man? And I don't really speed like that. So I'm like, why is she dragging behind like this, man? And I'm not even a real speeder. But the times when I follow her, lead foot. Do y'all hear me? She's just jetting out, accelerating like 0 to 100 real quick. And I'm
I think you made it up.
Okay. But anyway, I'm just saying that's the only thing. That's something. I mean, I don't. Do you remember me telling you about
I remember you saying that, but I don't know. I don't know how accurate that was.
Yeah, but that's not really one that they're saying watch how this person acts while they're in traffic. But I'm just saying that was just something that I noticed, and that was something that I brought up even in our dating relationship. Like, hey, why is it that when and this could be petty, but we talked about these things, and I think that that's important. It was bothering me a little bit, and so we talked about that. But let's go on to the next one, unless you had some other traffic incidents with me and my attitude.
No, I don't think so. But our things that we saw were pretty lighthearted. But I guess if you do see something crazy, if somebody's blowing up and cursing people out while they're in traffic, it's just you need to take note of that. You really need to take note of that. Like, what is it that's making them react that way?
No doubt. Yup. Gotta dig. All right. So, how does she act when she's stressed out because of a hospitalized loved one? Or how does he act when he's stressed out because a family member is in the hospital? This is a real life situation, and I don't remember when we were dating. I think my dad had a surgery while we were dating. Do you remember at all?
I can't really remember. It was nothing too. I mean, I know that you cared and you were trying to make sure that your dad was good, but yeah, no red flags from you.
Yeah.
I think you handled things well.
Good. Yeah, that was a stressful time. And as far as you're concerned, I don't remember anybody being hospitalized, but this one is not on the list for Focus on the Family. But I think another one to look for is, hey, how does this person react when there is a death in the family? Because a lot of we've read and I've seen that's when you'll see somebody's life dramatically changes when they lose a parent. You could be dating someone who has children right now, and if one of the children pass away, that person's personality, their life is going to change, and how does that person react in those situations? I think I had maybe a few uncles that passed away. I can't remember if your aunt and uncle passed away when we were dating.
After we got married, there were a few deaths in my family.
Yeah. So these are just things that you can look for. What else do they have up here? I think it's pretty good to talk about. Oh, look. And so how does he treat his mother? We talked about last time. How does she treat her father? That was very important to me, and I saw that. And just to add to that, I remember like paying attention to how she treated her brothers. Just how does she treat the men in her life? And I was impressed. Just a respectful demeanor, and it was just good to witness you around your family. Period. Do you remember having an opportunity to look at how I treated my sister?
Yeah, I think that you had a good relationship with your sister. You guys are always joking back and forth, so I like the way that you interacted. I think your brother and your sister, you guys are you're very entertaining to watch together.
Yeah, that's cool. So, I mean, those are things that obviously, if you can watch the person who you're dating interact with a loved one of the opposite sex, right? How does she treat the men in her life, or how does he treat the women in his life, the people who he loves? It can tell you a whole lot. And so I think that's pretty cool. And then another one is, what is this person like when they're around their friends? I'll say this about you. One thing that really impressed me when we were dating is, you didn't point the finger at people. I remember in conversation, if somebody did something that was, that I would deem disrespectful or just something. Like, I remember you seeing the best in people. Like, you would try to figure out, like, I can't remember any specific examples, but I just remember in conversation, you like almost making an excuse for it. I don't want to say making an excuse, but it was like, man, you just kind of see the best in this person. Like, maybe they're late because, you know, there was traffic. I could be frustrated with somebody like, man, you know, this person said they were going to be here at 10 o'clock. You were like, well, maybe they're stuck in traffic, or maybe something happened. You were seeing the best in your friends and stuff like that. And just coming around and seeing how you interacted with your friends was good too. It's pretty refreshing, man. You were always consistently kind, yo.
Thank you. And your friendships, that was something that I respected as well. It seemed like you always took your friendships very seriously. Like, you valued friendships, and you were very much like a gatherer of people, and like, it seemed like you were listening to what people needed, and you were always trying to connect them with other people and places and resources that would benefit them. So you were a serious friend, I think. So that was good.
That's good. I appreciate that. Well, the last question I'll read, it says, how does this person feel about children? Very good, very good. We had that discussion. I remember that was a refreshing part of our dating experience. You know, I think I said that I wanted 3 or 4 kids.
Yeah, I think I said the same.
Yep, your number was about the same. We talked about disciplining. Like, do you believe in getting that belt, right? Those type of things, and we both had those discussions, and I think that's very important because we have 3 now. And sometimes they need that ride. But anyway, yeah, these type of discussions should, you know, we feel like, you know, while you're dating, you should have these conversations and maybe even interact, see how they interact. I remember coming to visit you at the church when you were serving in the children's ministry, and just seeing how, you know, I think it was an Easter. It was a period of time when y'all were celebrating Easter at the church, and you were making the little crosses with what was it, a leaf or something?
Palm branch.
Yeah, the palm branch.
Palm Sunday.
You was in there, Mrs. Diana. They was running up to you. That was being nice. I was like, this is cute to see you in that element handling kids, because kids is, I mean, that's where children have always been very important to me, and I knew that I wanted children. So to see her interact with other children was refreshing, and to hear her talk about it. So those are some things that we just want to share with you about dating, and I hope that it can add to your arsenal if you are in a dating situation, no matter your age.
Right. Yeah. And so those are not it's not like a hard rule that everybody's relationship is not going to be the same. You're not going to necessarily date for the same amount of time as somebody else does. And there's just a whole variety of different ways you can do things and still have a good result. But these are just some suggestions of situations that you probably do want to make happen if they're not already happening. Try to intentionally get yourself around this person's friends, this person's family. So make sure you see all that stuff before you get married, so that you know what you're getting into, because you want it to last. Like, who gets married to have it, and you want it to last. So it's just a good way to help you set yourself up for success.
No doubt. All right.
All right. Well, thank you so much for watching. We will see you next time.
See you next time.
3 kids, gotta raise them. Come on. 1 wife, that's 1 crew, that's 5 trails, gotta blaze them. Get your head up when you mess up. Fix your eyes on the goal. Don't you let up when you fed up. Know the guys in control. I stay motivated.